Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about testosterone boosters, which have pretty much been one of the biggest scams of the supplement industry forever. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you aren't following or subscribed, please do so. And if you'll be kind enough to drop the comments down below, I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. Things that I don't think people think about with this idea of over-the-counter testosterone boosters. It's the same problem you run into with other things. The first problem is the assumption that if they worked, they would somehow be better than taking a drug. Okay, and I want to be clear, they never actually work. So when this is studied to any meaningful degree, none of these things ever really in the long term boost testosterone. It's always very rare, strange studies where you get a transient effect. And it's usually stuff where people really have clinically low testosterone from overtraining type things, and they get a small boost that is not actually, enough to cause muscle growth or really good quality of life improvements. Like, this is repeatedly what you see. Every time you find one that works, if you go look at the study, you're like, none of these results are impressive. And wait, what did they study? Look at their groups. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details, but it's stuff like, overtrained endurance cyclists who were ultra lean, who all had low testosterone levels, boosted them to still levels that most of us would say, that's really not that good. So you have all of these things to ponder, but then there's a couple of things that people aren't thinking about. So let's assume they work. Like, they never actually work, and we'll go into that further. But what if they actually did? Do you know how much worse they would be than just taking a drug? And that's what people are missing. This is what they're missing. Number one, they don't ever look at what the drugs do that boost testosterone, right? Because they're like, well, no, it's making your body produce more. It's not injecting it. You're not getting the suppression, right? This is the claim, because I'm like, if you really want to boost your testosterone, testosterone is the cheapest, most effective, safest way to do it. And I do mean the safest. And people say, well, no, because it's suppressing. I want my body to produce more. And that's always I want my body to produce more naturally. So you put a substance into your body, forcing it to produce more. Like, you're not natural. Like, at that point, if you have ever taken anything that you believe boosted your testosterone, stop calling yourself natural. That's just stupid. Just call yourself a steroid user. All right. It's just reality. Just stop. But, I digress. If you think it actually worked, you're enhanced. All right? Understand that. You're not trying to be natural. You're just trying to miss a certain side effect. You don't want suppression. Well, here's the issue. Anyone who's messed with any of these things is laughing, going, you really think something that boosts your testosterone is going to reduce side effects? Because there are drugs that do that. And that's the problem. People are like, I'm going to buy a test booster instead of just testosterone because I want to boost my production up. There's drugs that do that. The reason people prefer just to use testosterone. So light bulbs should be clicking for the ignorant people who don't know anything about the PED world. That's the only people who are dumb enough to buy into these test boosters. HCG is phenomenal for boosting testosterone. So that's essentially what you're trying to get from some herb. You believe some herb or some amino acid is going to replicate what HCG does. HCG turns everything on, right? Flips up sperm count, flips up testosterone production, everything. Because that's the only reason guys care about the suppression, right? They don't want to lose sperm count and stuff. Like, HCG, great fertility drug. However, the side effects are really high. Why? Because do you really think that there's a way to boost just one hormone in your body? Like, does anyone really and truly think that's how it works? It's not. So all these different drugs like this that boost testosterone boost other hormones with it. All your sex hormones are going to go up. Your estrogen, everything. You say, wait a minute. And this is synthetic drugs that are specifically designed to do it. You think you're going to take some herbal supplement that's going to be more exact? Oh, there's just some herb you're going to find somewhere in the Himalayan mountains that just happens to boost only testosterone through some new pathway that millions of dollars, billions of dollars of research can't find in a lab, and you really think it's going to just isolate only the testosterone, you're delusional. You're listening to con men trying to sell you something. No, if it actually worked, it's going to boost all sorts of hormones. There's going to be more side effects than just taking testosterone. Because when you take just testosterone, you're simply adding the one hormone you want. You're not making your body have a whole cascade of responses. It starts producing a bunch of different hormones. Because that's how it would work. Anything that's going to stimulate one is going to stimulate others. Okay, number one. People forget this. The side effects. Number two, there's no standardization. Why do you think when companies make certain drugs out of an herb or a plant and they extract it and concentrate it, do you not understand for it to be sold, it has to be standardized? Meaning it's in a controlled environment. They know exactly how much is in there. If you're taking just some herbal supplement or some extract, it's not going to be the same. And here's your problem. If you're taking HCG, for example, you can take an exact amount. You're going to produce the same effect all the time. If you take testosterone, you're going to take an exact amount. You're going to be able to have control of your levels. It's standardized. The herb would not be standardized. So even if you found an herb that did this, the shelf life is literally going to change. Like if it sits on the shelf for 30 days versus 90 days, it's going to affect the potency. The batch to batch, what day or which field it came from, is going to affect the potency. You're going to have testosterone levels that fluctuate all the time. It's not going to be stable. You literally would have one batch where your side effects would be too high. You'd have another batch that is underdosed where you're not getting the benefit. Like this whole idea is stupid. Like that people really think that they're going to take something as important as their testosterone levels, and you're going to just take some herbal extract or some herb to do it that's not consistent batch to batch so that you don't get consistent results. And it's going to give you more side effects than just taking a drug potentially, especially with it being inconsistent. Right? This idea is ludicrous. But on top of it, it never actually works when these things are studied long term. They fail over and over and over when they're put into real testing. Right? Real testing is done on healthy young men and stuff. They don't ever produce the effect that they're marketed to have. They're a scam.